Hi guys, welcome in this video, and this is going to be an MQL5 tutorial in which I will be creating an expert advisor based on two indicators, and that is the ADX indicator and the MACD indicator. So firstly I will explain the idea behind the expert advisor, and after that I will switch to my MT5 editor and I will create an expert advisor based on the idea. So here you can see my chart. We are on Australian dollar and USD 15 minutes chart, but that's not important. What is important is these two indicators right here. So the first one is ADX, and this indicator is used for the trend. So you can see there are multiple lines here. This pink line usually represents a downtrend. This, let's call it greenish line, indicates uptrend, and this blue line tells you how the trend is strong. Usually this indicator is used for identification of the trend, and it's very simple. If the pink line is above the greenish line, then you are in a downtrend, and if when the greenish line is above the pink line, you are in an uptrend. And then you just check for this line down here to see if there's like a significance behind the trend or not. So that's how you use the ADX indicator. And the second indicator is MACD, which I'm sure that all of you already know, but if not, this MACD indicator basically shows you the difference between two moving averages, and yeah, that's it. If the MACD indicator is in positive numbers, that means that there's an uptrend, and if it's in negative numbers, then there's a downtrend. So here are the two indicators that I will be using for this expert advisor, and the process will have two steps. The first step is to identify the trend by using the ADX indicator, and once we have a clear trend, then we move on to the second step, and that's finding entries with this MACD indicator. So yeah, that's it. So I will switch to my MT5 editor right here, where I will create a new expert advisor. Let's call it ADX slash or underscore MACD EA, and I will leave everything on the default settings, and this is how the expert advisor looks like so far. Now I will use my template for expert advisors that I like to use. I've done 2 videos on it where I showed you how to create this template, so if you didn't watch it, please do. But yeah, I will go on and just open my template file, copy all of this, go back and paste it here. So what this template does is that it gives me the framework of EA that I can use. So I have functions for calculating the correct lot size. I have my take profit and stop loss settings here. I can also use functions such as trailing stops or the break even functions, and I can also use time filter settings. So please, if you haven't watched the template tutorial, please do. It's there's everything you need to know about this template. So now what we have to do is to generate the signal for our EA. We have this function, sorry, this is not the function, this is our function that we will be working in, called signal, and this function basically creates the signal either for selling or buying, and then gives the value to the rest of the expert advisor. Let's put it this way. Okay, so let's get into it. I will delete all of this right here because we won't be needing that. I will also create these arrays, and I will also delete these handles. And yeah, so yeah, I will also delete this. Okay, so we have something, yeah, let's say return 1 for now. Okay, let's move on. So as we discussed, we will be making this expert advisor based on ADX indicator and MACD indicator. So the first step we have to do is to obtain the values of these indicators for our expert advisor so we can work with them. So first step, when you want to obtain some indicator values in MQL5, is to create something called handles. And handles are just data types that are used for getting the indicator values. So let's create ADX handle and also MACD handle. The next step is that I will move on to this onInit function, where I will assign value to the ADX handle by typing IADX. So now we are calling the ADX indicator for our symbol for the current period, and now it wants the moving average period that is going to be used for the calculations. And since we want the user to be able to set this period, we will create an input variable. So let's create a group called indicators settings, and yeah, let's create a new variable of type integer ADX period. Let's set the initial value to 200, and here just pass the ADX period variable. So that's it. So we have our ADX handle, and now we have to do the same thing for the MACD handle. So MACD for the current symbol, current period, and now it wants values for the fast average, slow average, and signal period. And that's something that we can put into inputs as well. So input integer, slow period, MACD, let's say 26, input integer, fast period, MACD, let's say 12 or 9, and input integer, signal period, MACD, let's say 12. And now we just take these values and paste them here. So for the fast, we want fast. For the slow, we want the slow variable. For the signal period, we want signal period MACD right here, and price close. So that's that for our handles. Now we can move on to our signal function, where all of the useful stuff will be. Okay, so I have to create two arrays or 3 arrays or 4 arrays. Let me think about it. Let's create first array for MACD values. That's gonna be the simpler part of this code. So we have our array in which we will be storing the MACD values, and we can do so right here. So we will call this copy buffer function. We will paste the MACD handle, and now buffer number is 0, starting position is also 0, and we want to obtain two last MACD values, so we can calculate, or we can calculate the entry signal. Our entry signal is going to be very simple. If I zoom in here on this chart, basically our entry signal is going to be the point where the MACD indicator goes either from positive to negative, that's for selling, or from negative to positive, which is for buying. So yeah, that's our signal. So let's do it. So I will create boolean variable called by signal, and let's assign value to this. So if MACD values position 1 is above 0 and MACD values position 0, so the previous value is below 0, then we want to assign true, either false. And let's do the same thing for the next signal, which is going to be the sell signal, and I'll just change these signs here, and it should be working right now. I'm just not sure with one thing, because if you check the MACD indicator, it has two buffers. The first buffer is for this line, and the second buffer is for the histogram. And right now I'm not sure if we should be calling 0 buffer or 1 buffer, or the buffer at position 0 or 1. I think it's for the buffer at position 1, so I will change this, and we will see if that works as it should or not. Okay, so this is our MACD signal, and this works fine. Now let's create a few more arrays. So first one is going to be for ADX positive. The second one is going to be for ADX negative, and the last one is going to be for ADX let's call it main. Okay, so ADX positive array is going to be storing these greenish values. ADX negative array is going to be for these pink values, and the main array is going to be for this main line right here. And we will be needing all of these values for our trend calculations. So let's get to it. Let's copy buffer. So that's ADX handle, and now buffer number. This is mistake. So buffer number, here we have three buffers. Each of them is for different line. So I will start with the main line, so that should be buffer 0, position 0. And right now for the main line, because we want to calculate the average strength for the main line and then compare it to the current value of the main line, let's say we want 500 last values so we can calculate the average based on it and then compare it. So that's this. Let's paste this ADX main variable, and I will just copy this here, and yeah, yeah, I will just change these numbers here. So the first one is going to be for ADX positive, the second buffer or the last buffer is going to be for ADX negative, and we'll just need one value for each of them. So now what we can do is to create a new variable called trend, and here we'll just check if ADX positive is larger than ADX negative. If this is the case, then the trend is going to be bullish, and let's assign value 1 for the bullish trend, and if this is not true, then we are in a bearish trend. So this is it. now what we want to do is to calculate the average value for the main line, and for this I will import or include one library. How is it? It's math.stat.normal.mqh. I think so. Yeah, it's that. And then we can do something like this. So mean main value is going to be equal to math mean, and then I just paste the ADX main, and then I want to check. So let's create a boolean variable significant trend, and let's check if ADX main at the last position, so for 99, because we are getting 500 values, is larger than mean main value. Okay, so that's our condition. And now let's put all of this together. So yeah, let's go. So if significant trend, this is our first condition, so we want to have a significant trend in order to possibly open positions. If there's not significant trend, then we don't want to open any positions. So that's our first condition. And mean main value, and trend is equal to 1, so we are in a bullish trend, and buy signal, and we have a buy signal from our MACD indicator, then we want to return 1. Okay, so if all of these conditions are true, so we are in a strong trend, the trend is equal to 1, so we are in a bullish trend, and there's a buy signal generated from our MACD indicator, then we want to return a signal that we should buy. In other case, if significant trend and trend is equal to 2, so we are in a bullish, we are in a bearish trend and sell signal, then we want to return 2. And if none of this is true, I can leave it like this. So now if I compile this, it should be working correctly. So let's check it. So I'll go back here. I will go to the tester, YouTube, and ADX MACD EA. I will enable the visual mode, so we are able to see what's happening on the screen, and let's see if we have any signals. We'll speed this up. Let's see, and we are receiving our first sell position right here, our second position right here, and Yeah, we are, yeah, there's an issue, as you can see, because we are entering, you can see here our positions right here. So you can see that we are entering a sell position at this point and buy position at this point. Okay, so we have a few errors that we have to deal with. Okay, so the first error is that now we are receiving signals on the MACD indicator based on this line and not on the histogram, and we want the histogram. So I will just go back to our to our script, and I will change this number to 0, and now it should be working. And I will also select the default settings, so we don't use time filter, we don't use break even or none, and trailing stop we don't use that either. And let's set the profit to 300 points, stop loss to 500 points, so we just can check if everything is working correctly. So yeah, let's run the test again. I will slow this down and let's see. So what's happening right here? We are entering a buy position. Let's check the MACD indicator. Okay, now it shifted. Okay, so the MACD indicator, yes, there's a buy signal. Then we go up here, we check the trend. Yes, we are in a bullish trend, and based on our calculation, if you zoom out, you can see that at this point this main line is higher than on its average. So yeah, these are all of the conditions that we need to have in order to open a position. So yeah, in this case it works as it should be working. So let's continue. Let's just check a few more signals right here. So once again we are receiving a sell signal. Let's check the ADX. We are in a downtrend, as you can see right here. There's a strong downtrend, so that's good, and we are receiving a signal on this MACD indicator, so everything works perfectly. Now just based on so this is our tester. Now let's get to the second part of developing an expert advisor. So the good thing about developing expert advisors in MQL5 is that you don't need to know what are the best settings, because if you go, for example, to these input parameters, you can see that we can change, for example, the ADX period or the MACD settings as well. And when you are trading without MQL5, so you do everything by yourself, then you don't know which are the best inputs or settings. Therefore, it's much more difficult to create a profitable expert advisor. When you are using these scripts, then you don't have to know which are the best settings, because you can find out by optimizing the code, and that's exactly what we will be doing right now. So I will go to the overview, I will select this genetic optimization, and yeah, let's find out the best settings for our EA. We can stick with the GBP USD. 50 minutes time frame is fine by me. We can change it later, and let's optimize the EA for the last 2 years. And yeah, we can leave it like this, and then go down here to these inputs menu. So I will be optimizing just a few things here. I won't be using the break-even function or the trailing stop function, and also I won't be using the time filter. So if we would want to optimize all of these parameters, it will take a lot of time, and I don't want to do that right now, but yeah, maybe later. I'll just be optimizing the take profit points and stop loss points. So let's start at 50 points, increased by 25 points, and let's go to something like 600 points. And with the stop loss, let's start at 100 points, increased by 50 points, and let's go to 1500 points. So this is our optimization for the take profit and stop loss points. And after that, yeah, let's move here to the ADX. So ADX, let's start at 20, increase by 10, and let's go, for example, to 400. Slow period, not sure, from 12, let's increase by 2 to 40, for example. Fast period from 6 and increase by 2, let's go to 14, and signal 8, 2 and 20. So right now there's a lot of combinations, as you can see right here. But the good thing about this genetic optimization is that it will only test it on 10,000 combinations, and it will do it in such a way that you test all of the possible settings without testing all of them. Yeah, so everything is prepared, I think. So now let's just click on start and let's see which settings are the best ones. Here we can see our results of the optimization. You can for each combination of the input settings, you can see different statistics. Here's your profit, here is how many positions you have opened in total, here is your profit factor, expected payoff, drawdown, and yeah, that's it. So let's wait a bit more for this optimization to complete. And you can see that we are getting better and better results right here. So we started at a profit factor of 1.1 and we are slowly increasing the profit factor. Now we are nearly at 1.6, which is perfect, and it's getting better and better. So let's see how far can it go. So let's wait for just a bit more. Okay, so the optimization is nearly over. We are getting the profit factor of 1.66. Okay, and the optimization is complete. So based on the optimization results, we can say that the best settings are these: ADX period for 40, slow period 12, fast period 14, signal period 10, and take profit points for 575 and stop loss for almost 1400 points. Okay, so based on these settings, what can we see? The first thing that comes into my mind is that without the optimization, I think no one would have guessed this combination of the inputs, because as you can see, the slow period should be higher than the fast period, but for some reason that's not the case. And like, if I wanted to find the best settings on myself, I wouldn't have guessed something like this, that's for sure. And the thing that I also like is that the risk reward is almost, it's like 1.2. So that's also something that I like to see. So now what we can do is that we can run single test with the best settings, and let's see how the graph looks like. And yeah, this is it. So this is how how your results would look like if you used this strategy with these settings over the last 2 years, which looks pretty good if you ask me. What we can do is that now we have our first run of the optimization, and then we can continue with our optimization to make it even better. So what I like to do is that, because now I know that the best settings are as follows: are 575 for take profit, stop loss is almost 1400, so it doesn't make sense for me to optimize this EA, for example take profit points starting from 50, because I know those are not the best, it's not in the best range for the EA. So what I will do is that I will like start from 450, increase by 25, and I will go to 700. The same thing I will do for the stop loss, so something like 1150, increase by 50 to 1600. So by this I eliminate a lot of possibilities and save a lot of time. I'm doing this because I want to test how the trailing stop would affect our results. So I will use the trailing stop, and now we have to set up these values. So the trigger points of trailing stop, let's start at 100, and let's test different possibilities with the step of 50 and going to 500, since our take profit can be up to 700, so 500 seems very reasonable to me. Initial movement, let's go from 50, increase by 25 to 300, and to move, let's go from 20, increase by 10 to 100. Okay, so this looks pretty well. And now with these settings right here, so once again we know that the best setting is 40, so it doesn't make sense to test the ADX periods all the way to 400. So what I will do is that I will select 30, I will decrease the step, so now I go like more into the depth of the ADX, and let's go 50 here. And the same thing goes for the slow period, fast period, and the signal period of the MACD indicator. I know that the best settings right here are 12, so I will start from 8, increase by 1, and let's go to 15. For the fast, let's start at 10, go with 1, and let's go to 18, okay, with 2 right here. The signal period 8 to 14. Okay, so this second optimization is going to optimize the EA for using the trailing stop. Without using the trailing stop, our best result was 1.66 of the profit factor. So let's see if we can enhance this result by adding the trailing stop. Yeah, and as you can see, we can. So profit factor So right now we are just a few epochs into the optimization and we are already getting very good results of profit factor of 2.22, which is really great for any strategy. So let's wait a few more. Let's wait a bit more until the optimization is over, and yeah, we will be able to see if the performance is getting better, and we are able, okay, 245 profit factor. That's really great. So let's wait a bit more. Okay, are we getting any better results? And these are the worst results, sorry. 248. Okay, that's perfect, and the optimization is over in okay, now it's over. Okay, so if we check the optimization results, we can see that using the trailing stop massively improved the overall performance, because now we are getting the profit factor of nearly 2.5, which is a huge improvement from the first optimization. So if we run this single test, you can see the curve right here.